Well, my friends, I have some bad news for you because unfortunately, PlayStation is dead too. If you really think about it, both Xbox and PlayStation have decided this generation to basically get rid of themselves. And it kind of sucks. It really does suck to be in this point of view. But look, you got to understand, I go back all the way to the very first original PlayStation. And I'm old enough to remember when PlayStation used to actually make games that people wanted to play, that people were genuinely excited about. The only people that were saying negative things about PlayStation games back then were Xbox fans. And the only people saying negative things about Xbox games were PlayStation fans. And the funny thing is now we get games like God of War Lao Fei that, think about it, this game they showed at the State of Play. And the only thing that we really have to really talk about for that game is in terms of like, okay, yeah, it looked like the visual quality looked pretty good. But if we're being real, nobody wants to play that game. And then you look at something like Wolverine from Wolverine is something that, like, I don't really care much for Wolverine. I never really have. And when I look at the way that game plays, to me, it did not look like it was like something that I really wanted to play. It's semi-open world maybe or whatever. But yeah, I was looking at that and I was like, gosh dang, man. Like, Spider-Man is fun to play. Spider-Man is fun to play. But Wolverine, it doesn't look... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. To me, both PlayStation and Xbox are kind of in this downward spiral, and I feel like it's even worse for PlayStation because they are that brand that is basically default. You know, Xbox is always going to have that negative tax or whatever, but PlayStation has basically skated free through a lot of that. But you can already tell just in the sales of the PlayStation 5. Now look, if PlayStation 5 was $300, yeah, they'd be selling like hotcakes. Everybody would buy one, everybody would have one. They probably would have sold more PlayStation 5s this generation than PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4. They probably would have beat them, but they did not. They've held the price pretty high. And, you know, I mean, even that is kind of a testament to just how default the PlayStation brand has become over the years, that even at $500+ throughout the whole generation, they've still managed to almost sell 100 million. But when you look at something like what Shuhei Yoshida said the other day about how Xbox is basically just going to be absorbed into Microsoft or whatever, bro, PlayStation is about to be absorbed into TCL. I'm not even joking. Like, the games and the losses that have been for PlayStation this generation have been so ridiculous. I mean, you even have Xbox games outselling PlayStation games on their own damn platform. That's how cringe a lot of these games have become. You've got people out here, you know, I usually buy all PlayStation first-party games. All PlayStation first-party games. And Ghost of Yotei, I couldn't even finish that game because it's just dull. Like the game itself, the characters that they keep insisting that we get throughout these games, the gender swaps for the characters that we've grown to love, and now they're just swapping them out with some weird chick like Lao Fei. I mean, seriously, you're just going to sideline, and this is what makes me the most upset about it. Okay, this is what makes me the maddest about it, is because we are going to have to wait a minimum of 6 years probably after Lao Fei launches before we even get the possibility of another Kratos game. A new one, aside from the remakes. Okay, we might get the remakes pretty soon, but another 6 years before we get another Kratos game, and that's if we don't get stuck with an Atreus game first. That's if we don't get stuck playing as Atreus first. Now, obviously, in the end of Ragnarok, spoiler alert, Atreus goes his own way, Kratos goes his own way. another 6 years before we even get the opportunity, and then possibly 12 years because they sideline Kratos again and put the boy there. Like, you can't make this stuff up. You look at Sony losing money over something like Destiny, like Bungie, okay? They buy Bungie, and then they basically kill off their most profitable franchise, which is Destiny. They literally stop that dead in its tracks, and then force and then put all the money into Marathon. Nobody likes Marathon. Nobody cares about Marathon. The player base is never going to grow to anything anywhere close to what Destiny had, because it's an extraction shooter. Like, there's definitely a fan base for those games, but it's not going to pull new gamers in. Like, nobody cares about that type of game to the extent that that would be able to replace the income and the player base from something like Destiny. Now, I played a lot of Destiny and Destiny 2, but once they started taking out content, it pretty much just kind of fell away for me. Like, I don't want to buy something and then have it removed, you know, as the game continues to grow. Like, I want the game to keep expanding and getting bigger, not you know, staying the same size and getting rid of content that I like to play. I mean, because there's always onboarding. You know, when you're playing a game like that, you know, you might have a new friend that's like, hey man, I want to jump into Destiny. And that was part of the fun, was going back through all of that stuff again with somebody else and kind of helping them level up and stuff like that. Like, that was fun. You know, it's the same thing we used to do with Division 2. Like, we would play those games and then we would onboard new friends or new people and bring them through the game and stuff and help them level up and show them the ropes. Those were fun. That was fun. That was fun. You know, getting through it ourselves, going through the new DLCs every time they would come out, the new expansions. Like, that was fun to do that. But then they started like cutting things out. And then you look at things like Concord. Like what the hell was that? Like, who was that game for? Like, if we're talking simply about what PlayStation we grew up with versus what PlayStation is now, PlayStation has long been dead. This generation. Like, it's long been dead. To true fans, like people that grew up with PlayStation, we keep coming back to the brand that we love, knowing full well that the reason why we love that brand no longer exists. Like, it's just gone. SOCOM is never coming back. Killzone's never coming back. Resistance is never coming back. MotorStorm is never coming back. All of these games, all of these franchises, all of these IPs, The Getaway is never coming back. You know, Jack and Daxter's never coming back. Uncharted probably never coming back at this point. It's crazy. I mean, yeah, we still get, you know, like Ratchet and Clank or whatever, but let's just be real. Like, I'm more into some of the other IPs that PlayStation has that are just not coming back. Siphon Filter, not coming back. All of the franchises that I grew up loving for PlayStation is not coming back, and all of the ones that are still around are legitimately getting changed into something unrecognizable by PlayStation fans. And so, look, it's only fair that I come out and really talk about, you know, PlayStation after, you know, doing my video for Xbox the other day, but it is true. Like, it is true. Like, these are sentiments and feelings that I've had for a while, but I'll be honest with you. I've gotten so tired of the brute force and negativity out there that it really is hard to come out and try to give constructive criticism, because everybody is on the defensive. Everybody's on the defensive and everybody cries wolf all the time. So it's like, how do you thread the line and like be like, look, man, I want to be constructive. Do I want to see PlayStation fail? Absolutely not. Do I want to see Xbox fail? Absolutely not. I love both of these brands dearly. I've spent 25 years with Xbox and over 30 years with PlayStation. That's a lot of time, money, and just like love invested in these platforms over the years. Like, that is a pretty big investment for fans to be there as long as we have been, and to see not only our favorite IPs get completely wiped out and closed and shelved, but then to see the remaining ones that we've had basically get sidelined and replaced with like female characters. Or look, I don't mind playing games as female characters. That's not even the point. The point is, I don't play God of War to play as Lao Fei. I don't play God of War to play as the boy. I want to play as Kratos. You know, honestly, I would much rather Sony Santa Monica essentially just create a completely new IP. And I said the same thing for Xbox. Just create new IPs. At this point, let the past go. If the new developers at PlayStation are no longer interested, and same goes for Xbox, if they are no longer interested in nurturing and continuing to grow those IPs that came before them, create their own. And like, let them sink or swim. If they make it, cool. If they don't, if they die like Concord, let them die. Because if that's the games that these guys want to make, quit hiding behind our freaking loved, cherished IPs and go build your own. Okay? Like, if you don't have what it takes to continue building and expanding on the IPs and the characters that we truly love as PlayStation and Xbox fans, build your own. Do it. Like, you'll either have our support or you won't. You'll either build a game that we all love and cherish, like the old guys, like the old guard did, or you'll flounder and flop and nobody will care, and PlayStation and Xbox will just continue to peter out until there's no more. Look, the reason why I say this and the reason why it hits so hard is because you see beloved franchises like Capcom, Konami, and all of these other Asian studios that are literally bringing fire to gaming. You get games like freaking Black Myth Wukong. You get games like Crimson Desert. You get some incredible remake games from Capcom, and then you get brand new freaking games in those series like Resident Evil Requiem. Just absolutely incredible. Look, if PlayStation can't continue to build their games the way we want them and the way we like them, pretty soon they're just going to be a platform where people buy them. The only thing really holding PlayStation up right now, honestly, is PlayStation 5 Pro. And they just raised the price to $900, which in my opinion is not a bad deal, honestly, in today's market. But let's be real, man. Console gamers aren't used to paying $1,000, $900 for a console. Like it's tough. I said the same thing when games wanted to go from $60 to $70. I'm like, dude, that $10 is literally a mental block for a lot of people out there. And it really is. So when I look at PlayStation, the way I grew up with it, technically it's dead. It really is dead. But thankfully, third-party developers are keeping gaming alive while PlayStation and Xbox keep stumbling over their own success and building and bringing out things that just nobody wants. Hopefully things get back to profitability and back to them just being like, okay, look, we're done with the whole stupid stuff. We're done making games that like feel good projects, and we need to start making money again. Because honestly, guys, I don't know how many generations they have left, because the younger guys, the younger crowd, they don't care about consoles like we do. They don't care. And pretty much all of us older gamers from like the 80s and the 90s and stuff, we're in positions to where we can buy PCs. Like, we don't need to be continuing to buy consoles. Like, we can go out and buy good solid PCs and just start playing third-party games on PC. So the monopoly is dying in terms of like console software. Like, it's dying. Like, software is coming to PC at a more rapid pace, and it's good. And they're, you know, you've got companies like Capcom and Konami and all these companies that are actually putting an effort to make those ports better, and in some cases developing directly for PC and then porting them to console. Look, the future for gaming is not dead. Like, it does look pretty bleak right now. The console for the future for consoles does look a lot more challenging going forward if we continue to keep getting games like Lao Fei that nobody wants. Like, nobody asked for this game. And yeah, you can defend it all you want. It's fine. I mean, even I will probably end up buying it. But, like, nobody asked for it. Nobody wants it. Everybody wants to play as Kratos. And, you know, this is going to be tough because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to probably walk away from the God of War franchise over this and probably only come back for the remakes, 1 through 3, because those literally are definitely worth playing. But Sony will probably find a way to screw those up too. They'll probably get rid of all the really cool stuff in those games, and they'll probably fill it with stupid stuff, because that's who works at PlayStation now. That's who works at Xbox. So I would love to see things get better, but look, man, like the negativity out here in the gaming space on social media, guys. I don't agree with all of it, but I do agree with some of it. I do agree with some of it to a point where it's like, look, man, I want to see PlayStation succeed just as much as all the rest of the fans out there, but we do have to admit to ourselves, like, look, if a game comes out and it's not hitting the mark, we need to speak up. We need to say something. And the same goes for Xbox too. Like, it is what it is. That's just the way things are. And I really do try not to be like a super negative person or cry wolf all the time. But yeah, as far as like PlayStation and Xbox go, Xbox decided to basically become a third party, and trying to take that back now is just absolutely stupid. But with PlayStation doing what they're doing, yeah, dude, they're like literally killing off the rest of their good franchises. So, yep, my challenge to the new developers out there: build your own games. Quit co-opting the games that we love. Go build your own. Go build some new IPs, and let's see if they sink or swim. That's my recommendation going forward for both brands. So, all right, guys, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.